Hey, want to know how you can save yourself a ton of time, money, and stress during your divorce? Great, because I'm going to tell you. So stay with me for the next 3 minutes and you'll learn all about it. The answer is to come to terms for settling your case with your spouse, then memorialize all the terms of your settlement in a document called a settlement agreement. But wait, there's more. A divorce settlement agreement is a very comprehensive, contractually binding document that is prepared when a married couple is going through the divorce process, and it's assembled with the hope that all terms of the divorce can be agreed upon by the parties and contained within the document so that the court doesn't need to address any issues in a trial by judge or jury. That's why it's called a settlement agreement. Settlement agreements can also include provisions for child support, or they may incorporate by reference a separate document called a child support addendum that deals with all of the child's support and children's financial provisions and responsibilities. The settlement agreement may be referred to as a property and financial settlement agreement, a marital settlement agreement, a collaborative settlement agreement, or a variety of other names, but a settlement agreement by any name is still a settlement agreement. The document puts in writing all of the terms the couple has agreed upon for issues such as what will happen to the marital home, when and under what terms, what will happen to the couple's tangible property, such as vehicles, boats, furniture, electronics, and more. It also spells out what terms the couple agrees upon concerning what property is separately owned by each of the parties and what property is jointly owned by them in the marriage. Another big issue covered by the settlement agreement is finances. Things like what will happen to all of the bank accounts of the couple, which go with the wife, which go with the husband, which will be closed, such as joint accounts perhaps. The settlement agreement will contain the terms for dividing retirement accounts as well, things like IRAs, 401ks, and pensions, as well as non-retirement financial assets such as stocks, bonds, collectibles, bank accounts, maybe even precious metals such as physical gold that the couple may have in a safe deposit box or at home. Another class of items the settlement agreement will deal with is debt. Who will be responsible for the payment of which debts? Which debts are the separate debts of one of the parties or the other party? Those are kind of easy to deal with. The more difficult debts to deal with are the debts where both parties are liable on the debt. Typically, these debts must be paid off, or the creditor who is owed the money can come after either or both of the parties, regardless of the payment terms that the parties may have agreed to upon themselves. For instance, if a bank makes a loan to a married couple with both parties obligated on the loan, and at the time of the divorce, the couple still owes, let's say, $10,000, and they each agree that they'll pay back half the loan within 90 days, but one of them doesn't, the bank will eventually come after both former spouses for the other $5,000 because both of them made a promise to the bank that the loan would be paid back. The bank doesn't care that a separate agreement was made between the parties to each pay back half of the debt, and one didn't live up to that agreement. So it's important to ensure that there is language included in the settlement agreement to protect each spouse from the possible default of the other spouse on debt payment. Settlement agreements can also contain the terms for payment of spousal support or alimony, or for the waiver of spousal support or alimony. The parties can also waive the right to modify an award of spousal support or alimony in the future, but such a waiver language must be very clear and very specific in order to be effective. Sometimes, some or all of the terms of a settlement agreement are reached by the parties prior to them obtaining legal representation, and sometimes terms are reached in negotiations between the attorneys, and other times the attorneys and their parties are able to reach agreement with the assistance of a mediator. The key takeaway from this video is that if you resolve all of your open divorce issues within a settlement agreement, you won't need to go to court for a final trial in your case, thus saving yourself a lot of time, money, stress, even loss of time at your job. You can skip the whole entire court process, and the best part about resolving your case in a settlement agreement is that you and your spouse decide your fates rather than a stranger who hears your case for a very short period of time, perhaps less than a day, and then decides how you and your kids are going to live for years and decades to come. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Be sure to click subscribe, like, follow, whatever is appropriate for the platform you're watching it on, and turn on the alerts so that you'll get notified when we post our newest videos. Please share these videos with people you care about who need to see this information, repost them, and let's get this information out to people who need to know. Also, leave us some comments. Let me know if you have questions or suggestions for other topics, and let me know your thoughts. I really want to hear what you have to say. Just keep it polite. Remember to join our Facebook page at Georgia Divorce and Custody and join in the discussion. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.